It may look odd here, but I swear it's gonna look much cooler in the end. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? So last week, I tried a new technique for myself and gave Infinity Ultron that nice metallic shine to make him look less plastic-like. The final result looks great. Check it out if you haven't already. That said, I still think Infinity Ultron is missing something. Like the other Phase 4 villains, I find that the figures don't look as powerful as they did in their respective shows or movies. For example, He Who Remains doesn't look all that interesting by himself, but as soon as I put him in the Citadel, he instantly looks like a Thanos-level threat. And it's the same thing for Gore and Namor too. They don't look all that menacing by themselves, but by giving them a base or a throne, they instantly look so much more badass. So that's what I want for Infinity Ultron 2. I really liked the 2 episodes he was featured in, especially when he became aware of the Watcher and conquered the multiverse. It was so cool to see Infinity Ultron to do that. Of all the characters that have broken the multiverse, such as Sylvie, Doctor Strange, and Wanda, Infinity Ultron has caused the most damage as of the end of Phase 4. That is why today, I'm going to attempt to recreate that multiverse shattering effect from the What If show. So, can I make it? The effect I'm going for resembles glass shattering, so I believe shrink plastic is the perfect material to use for it. I first used it to make the Eternals effect, then I used it again for the Pym Particles effect. The first attempt wasn't that great, but the next time I used it, it really worked out nicely for the Wasp. I love that I can cut it into whatever shape I want and it'll harden into this clear plastic material. But before I cut it, let me draw out my design first. I want to include the Watcher in the design, so it looks like Infinity Ultron broke the multiverse and the Watcher is unable to do anything but watch. And for the background, it'll be the universe. I'll just smudge the ink around and… oh wait, the Sharpie is drying too quickly. I thought I could smudge and blend it out. Okay, this is what I got. I do not like it at all. It looks quite silly. Let me try again. I went and did a bit of research. Turns out I can use other art material on shrink plastic, like oil pastel. But I have to sand the plastic first, so the oil pastel can grip onto it. So let me redo my drawing again. I actually quite like oil pastel. I used to use it very regularly. I love the blendability of it. The only issue is that it creates a lot of dust particles. One time I was using it for a piece that was going in an art show, and I used it overnight and was breathing in the particle for hours. Let me just say that was not a wise decision. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let me cut it up so it looks like shattered glass. Oh, the other thing I don't love about oil pastel is the mess it makes. Okay, it's all cut up. Time to put the pieces in the oven and shrink them. Whee! Here are all the pieces. Great. Now I have a puzzle to solve. I do not remember where each piece goes. Let me try and put it back together. The only recognizable features are the eyes, so I'll start there and figure out the rest. Okay, that took forever, but I managed to put the Watcher back together. I want the final result to look cracked, kinda like this. But before I do that, let me seal the surface with UV resin. This will also add that glossy finish back to the plastic. Done. Now I'm gonna go over the edges with a silver marker to give it that stained glass look. But how do I make it stand on its own? I think I need a bit more shattered pieces for support. Here I got some more cut up pieces of shrink plastic, but with brighter colors. Ooh, these look so much more vibrant. Okay, new plan. I have a different idea. Instead of having a wall shattering, I want more of a shattering effect on the ground for Infinity Ultron to step on. This way, I don't have to try and defy gravity and make all the pieces levitate. I can stick all the pieces onto a base, kinda like this, but more 3D. And to do that, I'm gonna use UV resin again. One thing I like about UV resin is that it cures pretty quickly and the bond is pretty strong, but I need to avoid making a mess. I believe uncured resin can cause issues, so gotta be careful and avoid skin contact. Alright, I got some gravity-defying looking pieces down. That looks pretty promising. Now all I have to do is expand it till it looks like a shockwave. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm running out of pieces and patience. Let me trim the base a bit so you can't tell it's there. Alright, here it is. Let's put Infinity Ultron on it and see how it looks. Oh, okay, that looks pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with the size of it. It is the perfect size for a stomping pose. Okay, third attempt at the Watcher. I find the previous attempt too dark. I want it to be brighter like the stomping one I just did. So let's hope the third time's the charm. I avoided using black in the sky this time, and went with thinner layers of oil pastel. Okay, I think that should work. Time to make the whole thing stand on its own. This is gonna be the main challenge. I'm gonna add some supporting pieces at the bottom, but want to have these supporting pieces as hidden as possible. I want to avoid seeing them, otherwise they may break the illusion. But I really need a good strong foundation. You know, there are times where I wish I had 3 arms or something. It is quite difficult to hold a piece in place with one hand and use the UV light on the other, while making sure the overall piece is still standing. It is hard to tell on camera, but I'm struggling. It doesn't help that my UV light is starting to malfunction. The connection for the cable is getting loose. The UV light only works if I hold it a certain way. But I'm gonna remain optimistic. I can see the structure forming nicely. At least it's freestanding on its own. Now I just have to make sure the Watcher isn't deformed. Imagine, after 3 attempts, I end up with just an odd looking black blob. Ooh, I see his eyes. This may work after all. Nice. Oh, that's an odd gap in the middle of the face. Let me see if I can patch it. Okay, I have to stop here. My UV light kinda broke. It doesn't look all that bad, right? It's a bit on the smaller side, but I don't really see myself being able to make it bigger without it falling apart. At least I can have Infinity Ultron hold it like he's breaking out of the multiverse. What do you think? I think there's room for improvement, but after 3 attempts and a broken UV light, I am satisfied. It isn't perfect. I wish it was bigger and a bit more colorful, but comparing it to my first pin particles effect just a month ago, this is a significant improvement. A small win is still a win. I'm also learning to appreciate and accept mistakes for what they are. Not everything needs to be perfect. It is not realistic to expect perfection every time. Why be negative about small details when the overall outcome is still positive? The Watcher effect didn't turn out exactly how I imagined it, but I'm having quite a bit of fun posing Infinity Ultron with it. There are a variety of ways I can utilize this piece. I really like the Earth Shattering piece. Okay, I don't know what to call it. This one looks so dynamic. You can feel the impact just by looking at it. I think I captured the frozen in time look quite nicely, and it adds to Infinity Ultron's character quite well. He looks so much more menacing like this, like he's ready to disrupt the multiverse, and he'll do it effortlessly. I can use this piece in other ways too. It is not as effective. It kinda looks silly, but if I zoom in and frame it just right, it can look convincing. Alright, let's end this with a photo shoot. Starting with the watcher piece. My original idea was to make it a wall, but I actually don't mind that it's small. Infinity Ultron can hold it like a shield and gives it that reality-breaking effect, and it's levitating without a supporting base. I can also have Infinity Ultron stab it with his lance. This looks a bit more silly, but I find it funny that I was able to balance everything somehow. With the right camera angle and framing, it actually looks pretty cool. This wasn't what I expected, but I'm very happy with the result. Here's the other piece. I personally like this a little bit more. It's not as versatile as the watcher piece, but it tells a more effective story in my opinion. Oh, and the asymmetrical cape also works well with it. It adds a bit of that sense of motion. I can also place the effect piece behind Ultron and it kinda looks like a portal, or reality shattering. And I can place it higher and closer to him to emphasize on the shattering effect. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a like and subscribe to see me make more random things like this. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.